What is going on, my baboon brothers, my simian sisters? Deejus here with another Advanced Wars by Web replay analysis. Today we got ourselves a nice good old banger on the books. That's right, today we got ourselves a banger, a quality game, a user-submitted game actually, part of the Nutty lower level series, but also part of the tournament series because this user-submitted game was from the Smacky Cup 2 Round 2. Now, for y'all that don't know, the Smacky Cup is a Advanced Wars by Web fog tournament online where some of the best fog players duke it out so you can win the crown. So this is round 2, so we have some pretty strong players. Division number 1. One of the players, Green Harden, is an 1150 level player, while we have Daddymacsac is more of a 1300 level player. A bit of a rating disparity, that's because the seeds are a bit different. You played different seeds earlier on in the tournament, but there's plenty of upsets. I was upset by Green Harden. He beat me in the first round. I think Starflash has already lost. A lot of upsets, so it's not unusual to have wild games no matter what the rating actually says at the beginning. Now, for the second round, this map is actually called Great Ocean Road. Gonna take my black to the Great Ocean Road. Gonna ride till I can't no more. Sorry, I couldn't resist. Anyway, this is the Great Ocean Road map. It is a large 3-base map with a few distinct features. Number 1, you have a base behind a pipe seam over here, so it kind of interests the player to get an early artillery to let this base actually do something. You don't want to let it sit there and just be an infantry base or a mech base where you have to ferry with T-copters your infantry and mechs out. You'd rather break that open and then be able to reinforce this side over here. There's not really distinct strong sides or weak sides because this base over here can go over here. It can also wrap down over here. So this base is very maneuverable. You can choose a strong side up here. You can choose a weak, strong side down here. This base over here is a bit weak because you do have to wrap around this way or you have to go through the middle. So this is one of the weaker, slower bases. Typically, you're going to see a lot of middle fights just because it's one of those maps where it's not really strong side, weak side dominant. It's just kind of a big clash in the middle. Due to the nature of the strong middle fights rather than isolated fights on the strong side, weak side, or having base rushes, typically you're going to see more of Drake and Andy on these sorts of maps, as you see in this instance. Kindle is stronger in the more base rush, strong side, overpowering a weak side sort of situation. But in these more slow-moving games where you tech up a lot, you might have some standoffs, a little more stally. When you have these big clashes in the middle, you might have some standoffs and it's more stally. It's a lot better for Drake and for Andy than Kindle or Lash or Rachel or anything under that category. So not surprised by this matchup at all. I believe Andy and Drake were the most commonly picked COs on this map, and I agree with that assessment. Now, Andy vs. Drake is an interesting and controversial matchup in Tier 3. Everyone has their own opinions on who's better and when to use the superpowers. Some people fall in the camp of, alright, Andy uses his CO power, Drake uses his superpower doing 2 damage, and Andy heals it up with another CO power. Some people don't like using the powers at all. Andy and Drake just hold on to the powers the whole game. No one wants to use it first, because if Drake uses it first, Andy will just heal it all back up. If Andy uses first, Drake will do 2 damage to every single unit, and Andy will have no counterplay. And then there's the people like, okay, Drake's CO power, Andy superpower, Drake's CO power. Like, everyone has their own ideas when to use their superpowers. As I've grown older, wiser, and more of a miser, I've come to like Team Drake for a few reasons. Number 1 being Drake usually sets the tone on this sort of map. Andy is a little more hesitant to use his powers before Drake, so Drake usually sets the tone when the powers are going to be used. If Drake uses his power, Andy will have to respond with a power in most instances. So Drake kind of sets the tone. He is the aggressor in most of these situations. It needs to be said that also it matters how much air presence there is, and Drake is not always the better pick. I don't think that necessarily at all. If the airport's back like this and it's not that much of a copter spam map, then I like Drake better. People disagree with me. I think Tordred actually prefers Andy in this matchup. He likes doing the CO power, Andy healing 2, then Drake uses superpower, then Andy heals again with 2, but a lot of the times it might not work out that way. Andy uses the CO power, Drake uses the CO power, and then it's weird. It's a weird matchup, but I like Drake because he typically sets the pace for these sorts of maps. And you can't forget, not only Drake does 2 damage to the units, but also the terrain. You have to take into account the terrain. So maybe Drake does 2 damage to all Andy's units, he kills a bunch of units, Andy heals the units that haven't been killed. Don't forget, you can't bring units back from the dead. So if Drake does a KO, Andy's superpower doesn't matter. But then Andy gets his little superpower, but he can't necessarily do a strong counterattack a lot of the times because it's going to hard to move his vehicles on the plains, on the forest because of that rain. I think plains take 2 turns for treads and 3 turns on forest, so tank reinforcements are going to be quite difficult over here. The more roads, the more cities, the more shoals, the better for Andy, but there is a lot of plains and a lot of force on this matchup. especially for these bases reinforcing. All of them have to touch at least one forest, I believe, except for this one over here, but it takes a long ass time anyway. So terrain is going to become into play here. So for that reason, I do like Drake in this match, but people disagree with me. People disagree when to use the superpowers. That's completely fine. But my opinion, I would choose Drake here. For that reason, they give Graydon Harden a slight advantage in this matchup, but I understand it's controversial. People have their own opinions. But yeah, this map is a bit nutty. Getting out the early artillery is a must right here. Another reason why I wouldn't choose Kindle is because this is a slow burn map. You're going to need time to bust open this pipe scene. Kindle rushing out is not really viable because you need to capture this base first off. And then I'd rather build an artillery first before I build a tank. You can put some pressure in the middle, but your opponent's going to have 3 base versus 2 base. Even if you rush towards the middle first, maybe get an early base advantage in the middle, but then the 3 base is slowly going to overcome you. So an artillery is almost forced in this instance, and also allows you to get to this airport over here. You cannot reach this over here without breaking through this pipe seam. Actually, you can. I take that back. But it takes a long, long time. You have to go all the way around here, then over the mountain. But if you break the pipe scene, infantry can reach this comm tower in 2 turns, airport in 3 turns, and you're loving life. So for that reason, I love Drake on this map. I love Andy on this map. I do not like Kindle on this map. But without further ado, let's look at the game itself, because it is a nail-biter. Real nutty game. Anyway, so starting off, in the right, in the aliens, we have Daddymacsac on the attack. And he's going for the base over here. Like I said, you got to go for these bases early. It just makes sense. You always go for the first base in most scenarios. So for the beginning, not too much deviation in terms of the builds. You might see an occasional early recon, but over here, like I said, you have to go all the way around over here. Doesn't make sense building recon here. It makes more sense building recon here, and since you can't build early because this base isn't captured, you're not going to see typically early recon presence. So the infantry can go balls to the wall. They can go far out here. They don't have to go get these back bases. They can be aggressive. So you don't really have to fear recons. You know there's an early artillery coming, so you can be very aggressive in your capping on this map. So some people forego these easy caps and they go farther. I'm going for this cap. I'm not going for this cap. And if you can hold on to it later on, then props to you. So we're going to see some aggressive capping, I'm sure, in early artillery. I'm expecting both to build an artillery first as their first vehicle. I think that's the standard meta play these days. I never played on this map, but I've seen a few reviews. And you build artillery from this base, because if you build from this base, you have to go all the way around here. You can't even reach this way, pretty much. I mean, you can, but it's going to take a really long time. So you build from here. I believe it takes 1 turn, 2 turn, 3 turns to set up to break open that pipe seam. So it's a very slow burn map. You can see why Kindle's Garbo on this map. You definitely want to be Andy or Drake, or you're going to get... If you're Kindle versus Drake on this map, you're pretty much going to lose unless you have like 200 points in your opponent in terms of skill level. Like, Drake is going to whoop your ass. I like the early recon by Mr. Green Harden. And early tank over here. So bringing the recon over here. So it seems that Green is trying to make this his strong side. He's going to bust open this pipe seam. Naturally, maybe make this his strong side. These 2 bases reinforcing this way over here. And maybe over here you're going to see a strong side by the aliens. But like I said, you can easily flip. This base goes down here rather than up here. And either side can be a strong side. So they're still kind of formulating, where am I going to build all my vehicles? Typically you want to build your vehicles right here, or right here once the pipe seam is open, because this is such a slow reinforced time. You have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you build from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You have a two movement advantage, and if you go down the south over here, it's going to take a long ass time. Not really much out of an HQ rush because it is so close to this base over here. Wait a minute. Okay, for a second I thought there was a bridge here and you could go through the center over here. You cannot. But HQ rush is still not much of a threat, but hey, you never know. Some wonky games, HQ threats come into play, so. Early attack over here. I don't like this infantry being exposed. Typically when I'm going blind, I want to go 2 spaces away from a base because I might get trapped. If something is already on the base, I might get trapped and they get a first strike on me. I like going 2 steps away so you can have vision on the base, see what's going on first, rather than getting a first struck like this. But luckily, at least for, or never mind, not luckily. I was about to say this could reinforce over here, but for that reason, he's going after retreat over there. So it kind of sucks. So Green Harden's gonna have to lick his wounds and move back. Gonna have to lick his woundies over there, and it looks like that the aliens have a little advantage over here. It's starting to shape up. Strong side top for Green and strong side bottom for the aliens. For Daddymacsac on the attack. He's not playing his flak. His favorite monkey is a macaque. Okay, I'm done. I got it out of my system. I had to do it. Anyway, we're starting to see some tank builds. Late recon by the aliens over here by Daddy Mac. I don't mind that at all, actually. Recons are kind of a must on this map. There's not that many mountains, if you might have noticed. There's one right here, and some in the defensive, but in the middle, you're going to want to put them in your recons in the forest over here to give you some vision. Vision's going to be difficult on this map with this limited amount of mountains. Vision's going to be very difficult if you're playing against Drake. So each side, I think, should build at least 2 recons, maybe even 3. I would probably opt for 3 recons on this map. And plus, you can build some copters, too, with the fun save. 2 recons is 8k. It's not a big deal. 8k, 2 recons and infantry is 9k, and then you build a copter. That's only 18k right there, so you're going to have plenty of income. I like this mech build over here. Bust open the pipe scene. Attack one more time with the artillery over here, then you attack with the mech, and it will bust open in a couple turns. Although he doesn't have a comm tower, so it actually might take 3 turns instead of 2 turns. I think that artillery has been shooting 1 turn. It's going to take 1 more hit, another hit for this over here, and a tank hit as well. He's not going to have it, so it's going to take 3 turns to break it open. But he can attack this next turn, put a tank on there, attack with both of these things, and then you should be alright the turn after. So not a big deal. And yeah, pretty standard stuff so far, nothing unusual. It looks like in terms of development in the middle, both of them are pretty much equal. It looks like the aliens do have an advantage. He will capture this property. Okay, the tank can strike it. That would be a kind of a suicide mission, though I wouldn't recommend attacking with that tank. So it looks like the aliens have a slight advantage in the middle, a little slight disadvantage down here. It looks like Green Harden was able to hold him off from getting that property over there, whereas Green Harden is able to hold down the fort up top. So we have pretty distinct equal income. I wouldn't expect anything wild to happen in these early formulative turns. The Recon's in a great position over here. I love that position. This forest right here, this forest right here. Get some artillery into play. Also, artillery pretty good on this map as well. Not only for breaking the pipe scene, but also these forests in the center are quite good. You can have a nice little army standoff in the middle, stall wars if you need be. Put this in this forest right here and prevent any caps right there. Defend this city over here. Defend 2 cities simultaneously. So for that reason, I do like artillery on this map. Always a little bug with the pipe seams, but yeah, so this tank breaks through. This infantry is going to capture these properties over here. You're not going to see early T-copters or B-copters. For that reason, Drake is actually even better. You're going to see late-game copters, late-game air units. So you're not even going to notice the Drake disadvantage until later on in the game. Hell, you might not even see air units until after CO power or CO superpower is used. So for that reason, Drake even better on this map. Even better. So let's see. We're going to see some middle fights, I think. Like I said, this is one of those maps where it's a strong, like, Rams fighting in the middle. This is not strong side, weak side kind of stuff going on right here. Just small formulative a bit of strong side, weak side, but it's mostly just going to be middle presence. You might attack this recon, go for the KO. First thing first, get some vision. Beautiful, I like that. Get in the forest and get the KO. It won't die to a tank. It'll take a tank and a few infantry hits to kill. I like the tank attack here. I like Green Harden's attack so far. Getting a few free kills, basically, on defensive terrain. If you do attack this tank over here, it is covered by this tank over there as well. This tank over here is a little passive, but that's fine. So Green Harden's a bit behind on the income due to this property over here, but it looks like he's going to be able to capture this property. So far, so equal. I like the early tech up from the Neo tank. It's a bit of a surprise. It's only day 11. This is a higher income map. I like the Neo tank rather than the medium tank. Medium tanks are slower. And they don't do very much damage to Neo Tank, so I prefer going for Neo Tank when possible. Maybe saving up an extra turn rather than building a medium tank. But as Andy, you're going to want to tech up even more than Drake, because Andy, remember, he has the superpower. He can heal up his units 5 HP. So typically it behooves Andy to get a nice old tech up going. Build some bombers, build some fighters. Fighters are especially hard to kill. Gets a lucky 2-hit KO right there. That is a lucky little roll over here. And look, he doesn't even have the comm tower. That's how lucky he is. Damn. Look at that luck. That's like a 10% chance, I think. I mean, I think there was some infantry attack maybe back that it like took some counterattack from an infantry. Yeah, 3 HP infantry. That's a very, very, very lucky roll from Daddymacsac. So he should be happy with that. And then he gets to put the recon on top, so this tank actually can't get a nice little hit off. So Daddymacsac getting a little lucky over here. But hey, people get lucky all the time. It happens. That's part of Advanced Wars. Part of the Advanced Wars lore is luck. So Green Harden not doing too great so far. Behind in the income, behind in the unit value, behind in the unit count. But he ain't dead yet. He Drake, boy. He Drake. He ain't giving up. He's got the Neo tank. Maybe he can catch off this medium tank off guard. one-shot it or two-shot it with that and plus a tank on, say, a shoal, on a road, etc. So he has to be careful about that. Daddymacsac does. But both, seems like Daddymacsac is starting to think in terms of strong side, weak side, and he's getting a little too feisty. He's going in there without recon support. Where did his recon go? Oh, over here. Okay, I understand the terrain, but you don't know it's there. And he's attacking into this forest right there. That's a bit dicey. I don't know about that call right there. I mean, he's going to get burned because of that. Attacking an infantry too, not even a tank. And you don't want to attack into that artillery. This is a big old trap. That artillery looks juicy. It won't counterattack, but you're within 2 turns of this base over here on the city terrain. You don't want to attack into that. That is super overextending. So if green can keep a battle going over here, green would love it. Even if it's not necessarily 100% like equal trades, you want to keep fighting over here because it's 2 turns reinforcement versus, oh god, who knows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 3 turns versus 2 turns. So you take that any day of the week if you're green. And it seems like Daddymac's like, yeah, I'm not going to do a long turn fight there. I'm going to retreat. I'm going to go to the bottom. He's dabbling a little bit. It's not terrible. This is not a stabbling sort of map, like I said earlier. It's not a Kindle-based rush map. This is more of a dabbling map. If you want to dabble, this is a sort of map, a large map, where it's more of a center presence rather than a base rush map. So you can get away with dabbling. That tank is 100% dead. He won't be able to stop this cap, though, unfortunately for him. So it looks like Daddymac's income lead is going to swing even further. Oh, it looks like Green Harden temporarily got an income lead. Good for him. I think it's just because this airport back here. But Daddymacsac is going to definitely have an income lead. The first anti-air comes in day 13 later, which is good because you're not expecting copter. Actually, I would argue that anti-air is a bit early. You want to get it at the same time you have your airport, so actually that's pretty good. He's assuming that Daddymacsac has prioritized gathering this airport rather than the comm tower, but he actually is going after the comm tower first, which, you know, more power to him. You need that firepower sometimes, so. But he gets an early anti-air. But Daddymacsac is just winning overall. It looks like he's just winning in terms of the battle. Let's look at the stats right now. Okay, it's actually not so bad. More kills than deaths, but it's mostly been recon, tank, lost a tank. But he's doing pretty good. Now he builds his first Neo tank from that busted open pipe seam base. Seems like a nice front shift. I like what I'm seeing from Daddymacsac so far. He won what he wanted over here. He got the spoils. He got the city over there, and he's like, okay, I'm good now. Now I'm shifting to the bottom. I like this. Front shifting is very important in the higher levels, and I like this by Daddymacsac. He's pretending he's going to build up over here, so green's going to entrench himself. Oh, I'm going to build artillery here and put it in the forest here and put it in the forest here. But Daddymacsac has other ideas. He's going on the Daddymacsac attack at the bottom over here, so. Macsac tactics. I'm going to keep rhyming with that until I die, so I hope you guys are prepared. And Harden, he's on the defensive. He's Drake. He should be setting the tone a bit because he has the power initiative. But he's more on the defensive, and he builds a copter, a Drake copter. All right, I don't know about that. Okay, I mean, I think Macsac is going to build an anti-air anyway. And the thing is, Drake copters, you don't really need an anti-air to deal with them. You can just use your own copter. So building his own copter is actually a better idea than even building an anti-air. Just spam copters yourself, and that's more of a deterrent than actual anti-air. So, interesting little fort over here. Holding onto this property, holding onto the lead. Ideally, I think Macsac wants to have an artillery here so he can capture this property and hold it right here and hold this property. So ideally, if he could dream it into existence, he'd put an artillery here, just like he has an artillery over here. Beautiful spots for artillery. Like I said, artillery good on this map. I'm expecting green to retake this property, though. It's too close to his bases over here. And like I said, this base reinforcement is ass. So you have to be aware of that. But Macsac, I think, is playing better so far. Green Harden is on the defensive. But Harden's going in. He's going in without any idea what's in there. So a little maybe too cocky right there. Beep, beep. Recon attacks first, folks. Recons attack first. They're cheapest, so if you lose them, it's not as big a deal as a tank. And they provide more vision. Bad. Bad, bad, bad. Recon attack first. If you're going to attack and be baboonian, you know, you want to be monkey-minded, you want to use your recons first, okay? And this is reckless as hell. He's getting greedy. He thinks he's going to get a roll right there. Come on, kill with a tank and then attack with another tank, man. That's just reckless, man. Reckless. I think Daddymac's going to dominate down there. But maybe power's coming to play. Maybe we're going to see early CO power by Daddymacsac. Maybe the early Drake tsunami squall or whatever you want to call it soon. But the Macsac is on the attack. The reason I think green actually attacked in here is because Daddymacsac did such a great job with his front shift that Green Harden thinks that all of Daddymacsacs troops are up there. Boy, they're actually down here. So if we look back, I don't think the Recon saw the front shift of all these units. So they went all south. Recon didn't see it. Recon's over here. It sees one tank over there, but it has no idea about the medium tank. It has no idea about this tank in the forest. So really great job by Macsac concealing the front shift. It's one thing, the front shift. It's another thing to conceal it. That's why recons are so important on this map. You want to be able to sniff out when your opponent front shifts, because if you don't, you're going to attack into something that's much bigger, beefier than you actually anticipate, and then you're going to get blasted. And this is going to be a blasting turn for Macsac. They're pretty much equal on unit value right now, and Green Harden's slightly ahead on unit count, but I think after this turn, Macsac is going to be on the attack. So it's going to be a brutal turn, I believe. Dead Recon. Ooh, now you see that. You can attack into the artillery if you want. If he's feeling baboonian, he can. But the Neo tank won't reach. This Neo tank needs to kill that tank. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It will not reach this artillery over there. So I probably would not attack into that artillery. I would probably just keep attacking down here. Make the medium tank or the Neo tank come down to you. Don't attack into that Neo tank right there. That's what I would do at least. Some people might go attack tank, and attack the Neo tank, but we'll see. I mean, he could attack with a medium tank and then heal up with a hyper upgrade later. That will generate enough charge, I believe, combined with all these battles. And it looks like he's going for that. So he's going for the early hyper upgrade or hyper repair. Boom. Didn't attack with the Neo tank. Attack with the medium tank. Interesting move. Okay. I probably would attack with the Neo tank from the city over here, but to each their own. So it looks like he's definitely going balls to the wall, all in. He's going to use this CO power. Interesting, attacking the... Okay, that's a little strange. I don't know why the Neo tank is... he wants to hide it, I guess. He doesn't want to reveal it. More power to him. But it's interesting how he's not killing off this artillery. He's kind of dabbling a little bit right there. If you're going to go baboonian, right, to balls to the wall, I don't even agree with this attack necessarily. I think he should have kept it confined down here. Get your tank kills, don't get too greedy, but he's going really into the middle over here. And I think we're going to see a Drake Typhoon coming, or Tsunami, or whatever the bigger one is. So this is going to be a little bit brutal. That's not going to be a KO. Daddy Mac with the luck rolls. Damn, son. First he got a 10%er, now he gets a 33%er. Okay, Daddy Mac. Okay, Daddy Mac. Show me who's daddy. Interesting. So he's taking a page from the book of Tordred, using his power first. Then Green Harden's going to use his superpower, then he's going to hopefully use a power again. I don't quite agree with this. Okay, so I get it. The reason why he's using it, first off, it heals all his units, and it gives them 10% extra defense. So when the Drake attack does come, it's going to do 10% less. Okay, I get that. But I might have held on to the hyper repair first. I don't know. It's very uncomfortable to be Andy in this situation. This is why I like Drake. Drake, there's less thinking. I usually just go Typhoon, kill a bunch of things, and then Andy can hyper upgrade what little he has remaining. I prefer being in that position, whereas Andy's like, oh, do I use a power? Do I use a superpower first? What do I do? So we're now at 100%. This takes away all ambiguity. Green Harden's going to use his Typhoon. Typhoon! 164,000 down to 34,000 damage. Ouchie. Boomba. And we're going to see a nice little counterattack here. Tank gets weakened. That's, okay. That is a mistake. I don't know why. You need to be looking at the replays. You know that a tank attack there. Maybe you reveal it with an infantry first, but that's careless. That's just careless. He wanted to attack this tank over here, but just careless lower level mistakes right there. It happens though. Medium tank gets kaplowed. Recon gets kaplowed. Decent counterattack. Kills off those tanks except for this one right there. It's going to be a full HP tank, though. This Recon luckily lives. So maybe okay, so the power kept this Recon alive with the extra 10%. It kept some of these units alive, like this tank over here. Let's see how it works out for Andy. So that did a lot of damage. So if you look at the damage, they're pretty much equal for a bit. Daddymacsac used his power, got to 64,000, 54,000 swing. Harden came in, did another huge swing. He's ahead 30,000. Let's see what Daddymacsac can do. He's going to angle for the power, I'm sure. He's going to do some reckless attacks. See this Neo tank? Oh, it can reach this Neo tank. He can do Neo tank, but he can't even see his vision is so bad, he can't even get a counterattack on this Neo tank without revealing that infantry first, getting a 2-hit KO, then swinging in, then he has to kill off this as well. I mean, that'd be brutal, but that's accounting for a lot of variables. So, I'm also noting that Green Harden has a copter spam as Drake. I mean, his copters aren't terrible. They have 90% firepower with a comm tower. You know, they're not terrible. I wouldn't use that many, though. I'd save that up for teching up. Build some more Neo tanks rather than copter spam. If I'm Drake, I prefer to have some Neo tanks than a couple tanks in a copter, you know what I'm saying? You want those teched up units. You want some artillery. The copters, okay. I mean, they're not terrible, but you can spend it better. And then trapped again. Macsac is playing a little reckless. Both of them are playing a bit reckless in terms of trapped units. You don't really see that much in higher levels. This is why this is a nutty lower level game, I suppose. Little amateur mistakes. I like some of the attacks so far, but a lot of reckless stuff going on. I don't like this Neo tank attacking onto a city. Hell, if he had a Neo tank over here, instead of buying these copters to build a Neo tank, that's going to destroy that Neo tank right there. So we got lucky there's no other teched up units in the general vicinity. So interesting. Now he's just attacking in to get the charge. You can tell he's just forcing it. This is not a good engagement, but he's forcing it. He wants the hyper repair. It's going to heal probably 20,000. 22,000. Not terrible. They're about on even ground now before he starts his purchases. Kills off the artillery. Yeah, it's alright. Don't forget also, when you do use Typhoon, there's also a fuel issue. And if you're swishing around, doing front shifting, that actually might come into play. I'm not saying you need to buy an APC or a black boat to start, you know, re-upping your fuel or anything like that, but it's something to keep in mind that there is another part of the Typhoon usage as well. That's why also the Drake double powers, 1 damage and then 1 damage again, knocks people's fuel down to 25, which is actually incredibly low for most vehicles. So, and now we're seeing a Drake bomber, so it seems Green Harden doesn't really give a shit about the whole Drake sucking at air units. That's a dead. That wasn't a roll, actually. I don't know what I said it was. That he's doing these really risky. He needs to make sure he kills that, but with 2-3 HPers, yeah, he's getting a little lucky. Both of them are relying on luck a little more than I'd like at this level. If I'm in a tournament, I'm going to make sure my calculations are very strong, and I'm going to go for guaranteed hit KOs. Daddymacsac has gotten very lucky on some rolls. Green Harden has gotten very lucky on some rolls. These aren't consistent rolls. If you don't make them, he's just going to retreat that tank, and it's going to heal up later on. So you need to make sure you get those KOs, particularly versus Andy. You're playing with fire right there. So these little luck rolls by both players, a little questionable. Drake Bomber's actually not that terrible, though. I mean, it does 90%, but it will do damage this Neo tank pretty badly. Make sure you kill off this anti-air as well. If you kill off the anti-air, then you get basically a free hit. So maybe he's going for the surprise attack. If I'm Andy, I might even build a fighter at this point, and then I don't even build any anti-air. Like, a fighter is probably enough to deal with all these copters and this bomber as well. And fighters are hard to take down, man. I think an anti-air does like 6 to 7 damage to a fighter, and then you just heal that up with Andy's hyper upgrade, hyper repair. It's harder against Drake, but still pretty hard to kill a fighter. They have really good defense. But throughout all this, Daddymacsac has also maintained an income advantage. He's had a 4K income advantage. He's held on to these two properties. He wants this artillery really badly to sit in this forest, to really consolidate this position and hold on to this. And honestly, there's a 35-day limit, which means after 35 days, whoever has the most properties wins. So, I mean, we're halfway there. You need to start considering, okay, who's going to have more income advantage. Doesn't necessarily matter who has more units, who has more unit value. Whoever has the most income at 35 days is the winner. So you got to keep that in the back of your head for these longer games where it's on these longer stally maps where Kindle's not very great. The day limit matters a lot more. So just keep cognizant of that. So we're halfway through. Halfway there, living on a prayer. Daddymacsac moving his artillery where he wants it. Almost there, almost to the promised land, to that forest. That's where our artilleries want to go before they die. Bit aggressive over here. He's a little bit overextending. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so this is 3 turns away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, 3 turns. So you don't want to go any farther than the city right there. You don't want to go any farther. You want to cut off and then just hold this line. If you're Daddymacsac, don't go balls to the wall. You have your income advantage. Hold the line there, and you win. Don't go too crazy. Don't overextend. Don't go for an HQ rush. Just chill. Just chill. Neither of them are using the black boats. As you can see, you can use the black boats to slightly ferry your units, but they're not going to be that helpful. So you want to keep it on the defensive on this HQ in case there is a HQ rush later on. So smart by both of them keeping the black boats on. And now we're seeing attack from the top and the sides. I feel like Daddymacsac isn't quite completely overextended, but he's getting there. He's dubious territory, but Green Harden, oh my god, he does it again. The recon comes in after. He has no idea where the medium tank is. He has no idea where the Neo tank is over here. Until after the fact. He's like, oh. Beep beep. Okay. Use your recon first, folks. Move your recons first. They're 4K. If they die, it's not the end of the world. If you lose 3 tanks, that is the end of the world. For a lot of games, so... Yeah, and now he's attacking in... Oh, this is going to be another brutal counterattack by Daddymacsac, I think. I think Daddymacsac is going to be on the attack. Still a strong move by Harden, but this is going to be brutal. He's going to kill off this anti-air, going to kill off this copter, he's going to kill off this tank. He's going to do a lot of damage. So, dead anti-air, dead copter, this Neo tank, take your pick. What are you going to kill? This tank over here? I mean, Green Harden does have this Neo tank present, but this Neo tank won't die, most likely. It's going to take multiple copter hits, Neo tank hit, extending a little further than he needs to over here. Like, just hold this property. You don't need to get any more. Just hold the line. Don't get too cocky over here. Going for the KOs. Is this Neo tank going to do anything? He should probably at least attack this recon over here. Okay. He's afraid of the Neo tank. He knows it's alive. I can't blame him here. And now, if he was versus Kindle or something like that, or versus Rachel or something, I would probably attack that. Not Kindle, but Rachel, because you would be able to heal it with Hyper Upgrade. But versus Drake, it's harder to get healing done because you're going to have to be dealing with Typhoons and stuff, so I understand why he's being a little hesitant. Shifting all his tanks to the bottom. Both sides have decided this is where the battle's going to be done. It's going to be down here. They're both in agreement. The bomber's going to be coming in. The copter is dead. A little overextending by Green here. A little overextending. He really wants that property, which is fine. I understand that. But he's going to lose his copter. He's going to lose all these units, basically. It's going to be ugly. And I don't think he sees the Neo tank. He's lacking the recon. I believe he killed the copter first. Or he killed the vision first. There's no recon over here, which I think is a blunder. Luckily, he's going to have a recon here. He should move the recon first before he does any engagements. That's going to be my test for him. Daddymacsac, you better be moving those recons first. Like I said, you want at least two recons, maybe at least 3 recons going on over here. Green Harden also is low on the recons. He needs to build one from one of these 2 bases the next turn. He probably will. But you can see what the lack of recons can do. You don't know where the bomber is. You don't know where the Neo tank is. So let's see where he puts the recon first. Okay, if he does that kill first. Use the recon first, man. Oh. Oh, Lord. Why second? Why? Okay, well, we'll see if he gets burned. We'll see if he gets burned, baby boomba. And he allows the property. So he's going to get the property. Good for good old Harden. He's not going to go down without a fight. Good old Harden. Harden. That's kind of an interesting name, I think about it. Typhoon comes in, so Drake uses the Typhoon first this time. No CO power by Daddymacsac. Completely defenseless, or not defenseless, but he doesn't have the 10% firepower reduction due to using the CO power. So he's going to lose a lot of units, probably. Look at that. 1-hit KO. Boomba might have been a roll, but he has a 1 HP tank to kill off even if it wasn't. Fighter comes in, or bomber comes in, boom, still a one-shot. Still a one-shot, even on the city, with a Drake bomber. Don't forget it, folks. I mean, it has a... Ooh, if he can kill that off. Oh, man. Daddymacsac should be so happy right now. Whew. He almost lost 22k right there. But because it lived, it's going to swing another 11k back. Whew, that was a close call. That was a close call, and he needs that kill as well. Like I said, that's the thing about Andy. You need to make sure you get those KOs. Need to make sure you get those KOs. That was ballsy. Luckily for Daddymacsac, he's still in it. He took a lot of damage, so let's look at the stats real quick. Like I said, Drake sets the tone. He has less kills than deaths. He lost 32. He killed 28. Took a lot more damage. I mean, okay, granted, that's looking at the rain damage as well. Basically double. 100,000 more damage actually taken. Green Harden is sitting pretty, but there is the Andy superpower. I don't think he would be using a CO power here. He's got to use the superpower. Hyper upgrade comes in. It's going to heal a lot, probably like 30,000. Yeah, approximately 30,000, I think. Was it? Oopsie. Yeah, 92 to 122. Okay. Comes in. He's going for the Neo tank kill. He wants that little sucker dead. He knows about the bomber, though, so maybe he invests in the fighter this time. See, I don't like this. You need to hold on to these properties. You don't need to attack in. You need to hold on. You have an income lead. Hold on to these properties. You have a 2k income lead. Hold on. Don't get too aggressive. Don't get too aggressive. So he's going for the tank kills. He's going to get the Neo tank. It's going to be close. He's going to live very slightly with 1 HP. Recon going for some wonky recon. Like, this is too... These rolls, man, like, you can't rely. They've both been so lucky so far, and they're being spoiled. I don't think they realize how spoiled they've been, so they're doing some pretty bad engagements. That's not going to kill. A little questionable, but whatever. A little too aggressive over here, but he's going to be punished by the recon. He doesn't have any real vehicles. He has this 1 artillery, but he doesn't have any tanks or anything to punish this other recon in the mech or anything like that. So, going to come in. Copter's going to get a kill. I don't think you're going to be able to reach this copter with this anti-air. There's going to be too many infantry swarming. Bomber comes in. Boom. Drake bomber. Kill the medium tank first. Now kill the Neo tank. Starting to rack up those kills, man. Starting to look like a Best Buy gift card scenario. As soon as he dies, his family, they're going to get the casket coming back. On top of that casket, a beautiful, shimmering, glimmering, $50 Best Buy gift card. Wow. Imagine the joy on their faces. They see their son coming home in a casket. They're just overjoyed seeing that Best Buy gift card there. They ignore the casket. They just look at the Best Buy gift card, and they thank their lucky stars. That was really grim. I don't know why I'm being so morbid. But anyway, green is going to punish over here. There was a little bit of an overextension by Daddymacsac. I mean, it was only infantry, so he's not losing that much unit value, but he's losing a lot of unit counts. So look at the count. He's got 10 infantry. Green's got 18 infantry. So he's mostly losing infantry. Green Harden has income advantage, or sorry, he has unit count advantage. Daddymacsac has income advantage. But unit count is the most important, and Green Harden's winning that. He's running away with it. He's going to heal these bad boys up, as he should. Maybe get this property, start going even. He's tacking up. But there goes the bomber. Boonga. It did its job. It did its job. It should not be unhappy. Killing a medium tank without any counterattack. Killing a 5 HP Neo tank. It paid for itself. It's a good bomber. Good bomber. Now Maxac realizes his roles. He's like, okay, I was out of line. I'm sorry. Just let me keep this property, please. But now that Daddymacsac got a bunch of infantry kills, or Green Harden got a bunch of infantry kills, he's probably going to go on the offensive because it's a little too late. Before he was like, oh, there might be a lot of army here. But then Daddymacsac revealed they didn't really have that much army, just a bunch of infantry. And now Green Harden's hungry. He's hungry for the kills. So I'm assuming he's going to come in and kill some of those infantry. And, ooh, Daddymacsac get a little aggressive, which is fine. I mean, you can only kill one of those copters. He's going all in. Daddymacsac looking pretty good so far. Bad up here, better down here. If he didn't sack all these infantry, he would have a lead right now. But because of that, he's a bit equal. I'd say that the game state right now is a bit equal. He's going to lose a copter to that anti-air, and there's another Neo tank there, but roughly equal, I would say. Maybe slightly favoring Harden. Oof. So he's able to kill 2 copters, pretty much, although, ooh, that's going to be hyper bird. Save the bomber. 2 HP? Is he going to save it? Okay. I don't know about that. To be honest, I'd use it as a blocker. I don't know if it's worth slowly saving that bomber. Maybe that's just me. I would just keep it at 1 HP as a blocker rather than trying to rejuvenate it in 10 turns or 9 turns or what have you. But teach maybe he loves that bomber, you know? Maybe he loves that bomber. But it's worth saying that Green Harden does have a unit count advantage, but a lot of slop. 2 HP, 1 HP, 1 HP, 2 HP, 4 HP. He's going to lose at least 4 units this turn, so Daddymacsac will have a nice unit value, unit count swing, and probably unit value as well. He's going to get a few kills. Going to kill off that anti-air as well, sitting on the city. Being defensive, like I said, he learned what he was doing. Chill, don't go too aggressive up there. Just hold on to those 2 properties, that's all you need to do. Put your artillery in that forest, chill, hold the properties. That's all you have to do. Don't overextend, just chill right there. You're in like medium territory where it's going to take 3 turns to reinforce, 3 turns to reinforce, chill. Don't go over the line, don't step over the blue line, over the border, where it's starting to be, overextension time where it's only 2 turns instead of 3 turns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So don't go past that city right there. Don't go past that city. Don't be a bad boy. Learn the reinforcement lines and don't go past, or you're going to be in for some pain. Going for this cap over here. Will we see a Drake power because of it? Probably not. I don't like using Drake powers in this match, to be perfectly honest, because I love the rain so much. The rain is really good on these sorts of long maps with a lot of plains and forests near the bases. So I'm expecting to hold on to it. Oh, I'm hoping he holds on to it. I don't know if I'm expecting it. This is a Nutty lower level game after all. But I would hope that we'll hold on to that tsunami and use it later on. Is he going to heal that bomber again? Is it going to be the slow and steady? Oh my god, he loves that bomber. That's a big boy bomber. He's not coming home in a casket with a Best Buy gift card. He's being, you know, rejuvenated. He's recovering in the hospital. He's doing all right. The bomber's not dead. He loves that bomber. Poor thing. But now the Macsac back to 4K income advantage. He's looking good. We're at day 24. We're getting near 2/3 of the way to 35-day limit. The day limit is starting to come into play. So the Macsac, he's not going to allow that. He's not going to allow that cap. He's going to slightly block you. You don't want to attack with the medium tank because that Neo tank will bombard you. We're getting near the CO power standoff again. We're seeing the fighter. I like the fighter. You see these copters and stuff. You know there's not that many anti-air, and the anti-air are usually typically going to be burdened with killing off the copters, so having a fighter is not a bad idea, especially as Andy. Neo tank actually shifts up here. Looks like we're starting to see a front shift by Green Harden. And notice, where are the recons for Daddymacsac? He has one. It's on the city. You can't even see these. So he doesn't see the Neo tank moving north. He doesn't see the copters moving north for the winter. Doesn't see the tanks or the infantry moving north. This recon needs to be in this forest right here. It needs to be in this forest right here. It needs to be in more offensive position where you can actually see things being front shifted. So I think Green Harden might pull a fast one on Daddymacsac. He got tricked early on when Daddymacsac went south. Beat the ever-living shit out of him. But now Daddymacsac might have the favor returned to him. So let's see how Harden does. He's shifting towards the top. He's shifting. He wants this property. He wants this property. And by God, he might even get it. And, ooh, very aggressive medium tank over there. It's not going to hold. He's going to get a first strike on that medium tank with the Neo tank. So this might be an ugly engagement. And will Harden use his CO power? I don't think he will use a superpower this turn, but he might. Depends if that medium tank dies or not. So he sees it. Not a one-hit KO. Pretty much close to it. Goes with the copter. I thought he'd actually go for the infantry KO right there, but I think he learned from past mistakes. You can't rely on luck too much, because then you can't attack it from another front, and then it's going to retreat and heal up again. So good on him. I know it kind of sucks you have to use a copter, but sometimes it's needed to get those final KOs. This freaking bomber, man, it cracks me up. The Best Buy bomber, Best Buy bomber, BBB. So the Macsac, boom, boom. He's going in for it. Is he going to use the CO of superpower? He might be able to... No, I don't think so. Neo tank attacks into it. Kill off the infantry. Tank attacks into it. That's still not a KO. He's not going to be able to kill the Neo tank. He's attacking the infantry with the Neo tank. What in God's green earth is he doing? Interesting. Okay, well that Neo tank is going to be susceptible to a first strike. This might be a really good Drake superpower time. Is he going to use a CO power to lessen the damage? Oh, and he has to bring the artillery back. Oh, okay. No CO power. Bomber of himself. This is going to be good, Typhoon. Typhoon! Is he going to do it? Typhoon. Typhoon. No, he's not doing it. That son of a snitch is not doing it. Ooh, big bomber. Plus Neo. Oh, he has to reach from the bottom, though. I don't think he can reach. Oh, big boy bomber can't do it yet. Has to heal him up a little more. Bring him closer. Come here. Come hither. Come closer. Finally starting to push over here. So we're having the standoff of the CO powers. I thought he might use a Typhoon here. I thought he might have a 2-hit KO on this Neo tank, but apparently not. I think he might have actually, but he missed it. Oops. Let's look right here. Kill off that. You need to kill off this infantry with this. Okay, so he kills off. Yeah, I don't know how you 2-hit KO this. You're not, so I guess he can't reach the Neo tank. Never mind. Anyway, maybe it's possible if you move the planner, but I'm not going to waste my time with that. Anyway, we have another recon. You need the recons. He has 1 recon, 2 recons. You need 2 at all times. You need to have recons on this map. Both of them have been kind of little sussy bacos when it comes to recons. Look at Macsac. He has no vision at all. Where's his recon? He has no recons. He has a fighter, which has, what, 3 vision? 2 vision, not even. These are just infantry, no vision, tanks. Like, when the Typhoon comes, he ain't gonna see shit, man. He's gonna be blind as a bat. Blind as a bat. And this fighter, no recon? YOLO! Into the belly of the beast. There's 2. Well, he thinks he's gonna kill the only one, but there's another one. That's why I need your recon. That's why you need your recon. Are we going to see the handy hyper upgrade? Oh my god, Macsac is going a little too crazy over here. He's overextending way too much. And he's not even attacking with the Neo Tank. He's just putting it in a forest. That's a blunder. What is it doing there if it's not doing anything? Like, what's the point? This is going to be a strong Typhoon. This is going to be a strong Typhoon. He has to use the Typhoon. Now when I say Typhoon, it's going to happen. 1, 2, 3. Typhoon! Oh my god. They're holding on. Typhoon! A little late. Okay, a little late. I mean, that would have been a KO if he used the Typhoon first. Imagine using the Typhoon first, and then, like, why didn't you... Okay. Each their own, whatever. Anyway, he's doing a lot of damage. It's a strong Typhoon. He's not going for the Neo Tank kill, though. That's a little interesting to me. He's being a little conservative. He's going to heal up this bomber. Oh my god, it's going to be at 8 HP. I don't think you attack the Neo Tank here. It doesn't really make too much sense. You just want to heal that up. Oh, he didn't heal it. Didn't heal it. I mean, he spoils that bomber too much, I guess. But he's capping here. He's capping here. Daddymacsac still ahead 4K, but Green Harden's trying to fight back. We're at day 28. We have 7 days left. The day limit is going to come into play. I can feel it now. I don't think there's going to be a distinct battlefield advantage until that point. Hyper upgrade coming in. Going to heal a shit ton left. That was a lot. How much was that? About 30K? Will he be able to kill the Neo Tank? I don't think so. Neo Tank attacks. Tank would have to attack. Maybe that would kill with the firepower bonus. Coming in with a tank over here, attacking onto the city. A little dicey. Okay. Not a bad engagement. Good counterattack over here by Macsac, considering the situation. As good as it could go, but he's spread a little thin. He's attacking on both fronts simultaneously. He's not doing this piston where you attack strong side, weak side, like this. Attack one side, retreat the other. He's attacking all at once and hoping for the best, which typically is not a measure of success, but we'll see how the Macsac is going to fare. I think he's going to get blown out at the bottom. But hey, you know, to each their own. He's going to see this bomber, unfortunately for him, so it might be a little too late by that point. Let's see. Green Harden coming in. The bomber's at 9 HP, or 8 HP, excuse me. Wait, what? Okay, good. That was a tank. I thought that was an infantry first. I was like, another Neo Tank wasting its time killing infantry? Please. But yeah, okay, Harden coming in. Getting a little wimpy little hit off. Attack the artillery from behind. Attack from the front. Good. Bye-bye. You hate to see it because that artillery was so crucial to holding on the fort over here. Also, I noticed, where the hell is the black boat at? Did he delete the black boat? Oh, it went over to it. Defend over here with 1 fuel, and then it sunk. Okay, that's a little scary. Unprotected HQ. Unit count is favoring green. Day 28. A little concerning. Little concerning. Especially after this engagement over here. Wouldn't surprise me to see a T-copter here. This late on in the game, you want to invest in a T-copter because you're looking for captures. You're not looking for the win. Maybe you're looking for an HQ cap, but you're looking for captures. You want to win via capture. You have 7 days left. You just want to win by capture. That's what I'm saying. Income lead. This game is not going to be decided by a grand battle. You need to get some capture. So T-copter here would not be a bad idea. Doesn't build it though. Doesn't care. Doesn't care. And then the bomber comes in. Ooh, boosh. Sucks. Boom, a lot of damage right there. Is this in range? Thank God for him. Thank God for Harden. The bomber is in range, so it will be able to be hit. This bomber is almost back at full HP. This is nuts to me. I've never seen this before. I've never seen a bomber nursed back to health like this. It's adorable. It's so cute. He loves that bomber. Name a cuter little story. Name a cute little story. Now this bomber's gonna show that Neo Tank who the hell's boss. Boom, got down to 1 HP. That's actually pretty strong. I think that was a roll. I think it usually goes down to 2. Yeah, that's you're getting too greedy there. You have to attack with the tank. See, if he attacked with the tank from the silo, it would have been a lot better. But he has to attack from the shoal. Not great. And then he's gonna have to interrupt with this anti-air, a little dicey. He preferred to use this anti-air to attack the bomber, but this is great positioning by Daddymacsac over here. And he's blocking with his fighter too. Daddymacsac going to increase his income lead. Oh, actually, it's not even... It's equal again. Excuse me. Mr. Greenheart must have slipped a fast one in there. He got this cap over here, and he got this cap over here, so now they're dead equal. It looks like Daddymacsac coming right back in. He's using the tsunami to interrupt these caps, I suppose. Bring this fighter down to 8 fuel. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. I don't like that. I don't like it. Because now Daddymacsac is just going to use his power. Oh, why didn't he use it? Curious. Use your power. Oh, is he going for the super? No, he's got to use the power. Attack that bomber. Can it reach? It's got 3 fuel. 1, 2, 3. Oh my god, that fighter can't reach the bomber. Is that why he used Typhoon? Did he know? Holy shit. Was that a... Oh my god. He couldn't have cacked it. That'd be way too big brain. I didn't see it. Starflash wouldn't see that. I don't think anyone saw that. That is crazy. This fighter cannot reach the bomber. It's 1 space away because of the Typhoon. Holy shit. If he calculated that, props to you. Hats off to you, man. That was incredible. But I don't think it happened because of that. I think it was just lucky. Because I'm a dingus. I'm a salty little dingus. But I'm also surprised. Late hyper upgrade. Why didn't you use it earlier? I don't know. Interesting. APC is not going to get in time. That fighter is dead. These trappings, man. Oh god, this is scary. Look at Harden over here. I'm getting hard on looking at Harden's position over here. Sorry, I had to say it. There's going to be a joke sooner or later. But this is looking like an HQ rush. Daddymacsac should be shaking right now. Boom. Boom. This is scary. Interesting engagement. Okay. Okay. Tank here. Infantry here. Oh shit. Is this going to be the end of Daddymacsac as we know it? Is the Macsac going to be back for next season? Tune in next time. He's allowing this little area up here. Oh god. He needs to kill with this tank. Kill with the copter. If he doesn't do a 2-hit KO tank plus copter on that, he loses. Ooh. Ooh. Macsac. But then Harden. He's got counterplay over here as well. Look. Bomber dies and fighter dies in the same turn. They both crash and burn. Damn, 30,000. Both crash and burn. I wish it showed like the, you know, the little animation. Like the blow up or something midair. So they just disappeared. A little too chill for my liking. I like to see things go down in flames. Maybe I'm crazy. Okay. It was enough. If you didn't kill that, game over. Bye-bye. Good game, no re. You got lucky. Or maybe it wasn't lucky. Maybe it was a guaranteed. But barely enough to come in. Stop that cap. Whew. But the Macsac, he's on the attack. He's going for this cap. He's ahead in the income. He needs to prevent this and this. Macsac, it's day 31. We have 4 days. I don't think you guys understand. This is crunch time. This is not lunchtime. This is crunch time. This is the big boys. This is where the big boys feast, baby. Boom. Coming in. Retreats. He abandons the HQ rush. He's like, all right, F it. I just need this property right here. I need this property right here. And maybe something else over here. Maybe this property down here. It's all about income. Who even gives a shit about the HQ? He's not... Daddymacsac not going to be able to kill this black boat over here. He needs income. He needs to win by the amount of cities. And that's how it's going to be. Oh, it's getting down to crunch time. And he stops that cap right there. So Daddymacsac furious that he wasn't able to stop that cap. Or get that cap. But Macsac has a 1 city advantage. And it's about to be tied up. Will he be able to... Is this going to be a tie? A tie in a tournament. Has it happened before? I don't know. Not quite able to reach. It's going to be tied on income. Tied on income with 3 days left. Daddymacsac is fighting to keep his income in the lead alive, but it's going to be tied. Harden over here. Itching to get those properties. T-Copter comes in later. I would have liked to see that earlier on in the game, but it's whatever. Later's better than never. Can it reach this? I don't think it could. Oh, 1 turn away. If he was 1 closer, he could have kept that. Well, not quite. He needed that T-Copter earlier. Macsac on the attack. Dead equal income. He needs to capture one of these properties right here. Or maybe this mech can capture this property. Can he sneak that in? No way. There's a copter right there. No way. Neotank comes in. It's all about income. 2 days left. You know, like freaking Majora's Mask, the big moon. 2 days left. That's what's coming in right now. Big ass moon, baby. Big ass moon. Big bloom moon. Boom. Boom. It's going to be a tie. Oh my god, it's going to be the first tournament tie. How is... I don't think... Okay. Macsac can capture this. Barely win. It will be the very last day if he can capture this. Green, on the other hand, capture this. But they will cancel out each other. This is not a threat. That'll take 4 turns to capture. Not a threat. This is a threat, and this is a threat. I think this is going to be too slow. That's not a threat because it's 1 turn away. Oh my god. Going for the cap. Everything needs to be going into that cap. You need to make sure that cap stays there. Mech not going for this capture is like whatever. T-copter coming down here into the forest. Sneaky little boy. Sneaky little gal. Tanks coming in. Whatever, you gotta block. You gotta block all these infantry. It doesn't matter what dies, what kills. You need to get this capture. Really get away with this capture. Be huge. But then we also have Daddymacsac on the counterattack. He's getting this threat. Oh, it's gonna be a tie. I don't think he's gonna capture this. And it's gonna be a tie. It's gonna be the first tournament ever where there's a tie and a pipe runner. He realizes the game. Good game, everyone. Thanks for playing. It's gonna be a tie, but he forgot one thing. Green Harden has his full HP infantry over here. He doesn't know about it. That's the last hope to avoid a tie. And so it's going to be equal after Daddymacsac gets that. But Typhoon comes in. Doesn't matter. He can heal that up anyway. He realizes it doesn't really matter that much. Although it does matter a bit because of the reinforcements. It's going to be harder for the units to move forward. I mean, these are all going to die anyway, but... Oh. And the fog. You can't see anything. Remember I said those recons early on are important? That's why. You can see some trapped units. Green Harden. Going for the cap. Weakens the copter. He needs to kill the copter though. It's going to be full HP. Goes all out. Will he kill it? Yeah, he does. No, this tank block it. Block. What are you doing, dude? I guess it doesn't matter. He doesn't have a tank right here. Even though it wouldn't reach anyway because of the terrain. Builds missiles. Piperunners, missiles, they both know. Daddymacsac. Gotta use this hyper upgrade. Equal. But he needs to stop this and this. And I don't know how he's gonna stop this one. He stopped the first one. On day 35. Green Harden won. The very last day. Damn, that was a nail biter if I've ever seen one. Well played by Green Harden. Well played by Daddymacsac, to be perfectly honest. That was a nutty game. I think there was a lot of mistakes, but I think at the same time, the macro play was very good. The tactical game was a little strange at times. Relying too much on luck rolls, but I think they had good awareness of how the game is supposed to be played. Good front shifts by both players. Like I said, good macro play. Some of the engagements were a little sketch. Neotank killing off some infantry rather than fighting another Neotank. Doing some weird hit KOs with like infantry trying to finish off 3 HP anti-airs and something like that. A little bit of a stretch if you ask me, but that was a wild game. I thought they was going to win by HQ cap, got kicked back over here, thought he was going to lose this property over here, Macsac would win over here, but then the counterplay, that one infantry over there decided the game, because this one was interrupted. Didn't matter about all these little blocking units, still reached it. Wild game, well played by Green Harden. Like I said, he beat me in the first round. He does another upset. A 1300 level player, Daddymacsac, wins in the second round. So I think he's like the 250th seed out of 256. So good job to you, man. I'm proud of you. I'm glad the person that beat me is going on to achieve bigger and better things. I wish him the best in the tournament. That was a wild game. And like I said, Drake, baby. The Drake movement stuff matters, and the vision. I mean, he got lucky here with the vision, but I mean, earlier on, those fights, lack of vision, lack of recons. I mean, the lack of recons was bad for Daddymacsac, and to a lesser extent Green Harden. I think Green Harden also could have used more recons. Both of them weren't able to sniff out some front of these front shifts. But because of the lack of recons and the tsunami, it really just exacerbated the whole situation for Daddymacsac. The lack of vision was just too much to overcome. And he was just fighting in blind, taking worse than best engagements, taking like C+ engagements. You want to take at least B+. You're not always going to get A+ engagements. I understand that. In Fog particularly, where you have withheld information, you don't see everything. But with recons, they really up your ability to do tactical attacks. Because of that lack of vision, he took a lot of subpar attacks. He overextended a bit. He didn't realize that the bomber was still alive and well back here. Is this a separate bomber? This got to be a separate bomber. Oh my god! That's the same bomber! When did he build that shit? Day 18. That's the same freaking bomber. He's not going back home with a Best Buy gift card. They handed the keys over to him. He went to Best Buy, they gave him the keys. Okay, just to one franchise, not every franchise in the world. Actually, no, you know what? They gave him the master key. Little known fact, there's a master key to all Best Buys. The key fits in all keyholes. Open it up, you can take whatever you want in Best Buy. That's what that bomber deserved. My god, I've never seen a bomber repaired from 1 HP all the way to full at the end of the game, and it actually contributed so much. That is crazy to me. Someone wanted to do calcs, how much damage this bomber did compared to how much like health it took. I know it cost 22k, probably cost another 20k healing it up, but that was insane. Damn, that was a wild game. That's one of the craziest tournament games I've seen in a long time. Well played by both players. And an interesting case study on Drake for Sandy. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. I certainly did. Hope you guys learned something. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.